Oh, it's coming, okay? Hey!
Yeah, I know, but like a specific date would be nice.
Epilepsy warning. Seriously, you have like 3 seconds.
Dance and throw that ass up, blood so big I can roll your ass up, drop it. I got my bags up, copy bags, you need to raise up, do it. Go stupid, ass on fat, but the waist on moving.
If you've played like me, then over the past few days, you have played a lot of Space Wolves. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. A lot of these players are coming into the game with very unpolished lists and are still trying to figure out what's good and bad. And for the majority of these games, I would say it's alright, except in the games where it's not. So I kind of tried to cherry pick a few of my extreme examples of what Space Wolf's luck can look like. So we see the first lightning bolt of the game coming down on turn 1. It must be pretty nice. By the way, I hope you enjoyed that edit. That was a solid 45 minutes of my life. It was like 30 seconds. I know. It was funny though. I thought so. I hope there's no person seizing out on the floor right now. I have seizure risk, so I would know. I wear a bracelet for that, but mine's for other reasons, not for flashing lights. Alright. Celestian comes down. Gonna try and pray and hide behind this. I don't necessarily think this is the drop you want to be making on 3. It feels pretty bad because with him, he has no way to clear this, therefore out comes the shield and he's going to struggle with it again. Notice the Sister Repentia I've added to my list. This is literally just to counter dogs, because dogs will smack it and die, and you will gain a faith. And I like that interaction. So this is just to counter dogs. I would think 65% of my win rate against the rest of the ladder field, but against my Space Wolves brothers, I'm hitting like a solid 45%. So probably just slightly overtuned, if I had to think. Yeah, so 65% against anything that's not Space Wolves, and then 45 against Space Wolves. So if you're looking for win rate, this is definitely the season to play Space Wolves. With that being said, I will not be win chasing. Just going to explore the realm of this nerfed hero a little bit longer. Or almost through the week, hopefully moving on to something interesting next week. I've kind of crafted a few things I think might be neat to fiddle with. Going to try some new solutions, try and work around this new Space Wolves meta we're encountering. See if I can't find something that sticks and fits. Hovering around minions that have, or troops that have 5 health. I find those to be a little bit harder for Space Wolves players to clear. This is a random troop. That is a 1 in 5, folks, that he nailed my Rhino. Pretty good odds. Not that I'm complaining with my full board. I'm just saying, like, I swear, it seems like people that have paid for the Battle Pass have better RNG than the rest of us. This game, not so much to an extent, but the rest of the videos, we're going to put up counters and count, because I'm curious. I've not done it, and I have to do it in post-editing. Alright. Long, hard decision here. To pack it up, he says, "No, sir, that's too many girls for me to handle." Alright. It's been an interesting experience, to say the least. I don't think that I'm necessarily hating the meta, or how people are playing a lot of Space Wolves. I mean, eventually they have to come off of it if they want their points, right? To grind out with other factions. Then they'll eventually fall back into Wolves, but whatever. We're here for a good time, not for a long time. Alright, drops the Orbital Strike here, dealing 1. Dealing 3. Hunt mark trigger into damage. Gotta love this matchup. Lightning Bolt feels very strong in this format. So let's count. That's 1 Lightning Bolt. I drop out the Repentia. Hopefully this will grab a wolf if I'm lucky. Or something else, perhaps. Alright, so he gets a wolf. I thought this play was pretty cute. Ping the Repentia. Up to 5 health. Smack that. Gained my faith. That was the whole point of that. Definitely thought that was a cute play. I don't know. This Warlord seems a little bit difficult for the Sisters matchup specifically. The constant hunt mark triggers really tends to irk you down. You, like, I don't know, when I first read hunt mark, I felt like I should have been a life loss trigger. It's sort of like how you can, in Magic, you can either deal damage to someone or they can lose life. Losing life is not the same as dealing damage. I thought that the trigger from hunt mark would be equivalent to life lost, but apparently not. It's definitely damage. It does break prayer. I don't feel like that should necessarily be the case. I think life loss would make more sense, but whatever. Not my faction. Maybe for a Night Lords or something else more specific or iconic to that design. Since they're vampires and all that jazz. Or their armor looks like vampire-esque, I guess. Guess Blood Angel's probably closer to whatever. Enough with the lore! Here's that wolf he got from his hand earlier. What's your favorite chapter of Space Marines, by the way? I'm honestly not big on Space Monkeys. Not one of my favorite factions. Like Drakari, Admech, Sisters, to an extent Tau. I think Tau are kind of full of themselves, though. It's like, for the greater good, we'll involve everyone, except for our leaders. They're definitely still in the leader position. I don't know, man. Seems pretty skeptical to me. This epic doing the Lord's work. Clearing out the Celestian. Trading that much tempo. He could have let that stick on board for a turn, and then cleared it with the next turn just to keep it, but apparently not. Worth it just to pump the Ferocity trigger. That card's absurd as is. The rally effect giving something hunt mark, the sniper ability on it, its cost, it's really strong. It's like the fact that it can ferocity something on the same turn is nuts. Some of these cards, they're good, real good. I can definitely see the advantage to playing this faction right now, but like I said, we're here. Fenrisian Drop Pod. Oh, I start to remember part of this game, yes. My Celestine dies to 2 Grey Hunters, and I'm like, how would that work lore-wise? Doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Bjorn Shrine decides to keep this in play. Alright. Out come his 3 Grey Hunters. I believe that's what they are. Still learning these cards. Out comes another Lightning Bolt. Pretty good. Man. He's pumping out tokens. It's like he's red-green. Is this Gruul Beats? Is that what I'm running into right now? Alright, we have to find a way to deal with the drop pod. Down comes Amalia. Or not Amalia, but the Seraphim, rather. Sorry. It is currently 2:35 in the morning. I've just finished watching some episodes of a show with Miri. I did record some of her stuff, but she's really shy on camera, so I'll try to throw in a clip somewhere in here. Maybe, if I remember. I still have some editing to do. Okay. Never happy to see that guy. Giving adjacent units pack. Pretty strong. I have a feeling like that would probably be more balanced if it didn't affect the Warlord. I think affecting the Warlord's pretty bonkers. But whatever. I mean, I'm not a game developer. I do not know. It just seems like when I read these cards, you would think that these things would not affect the Warlord. Like, I just when I think of like card effects similar to this, I think of like Hearthstone, for example. And in Hearthstone, there's very few mechanics that happened in the era which I played that would buff your damage outside of like weapon upgrades or stuff like that. Demon Hunter was released the patch after I quit, so I didn't even get to play with that class yet. I did get to see some of it though. I did go back and watch some play. Very interesting. Still trying to build faith here. For sure a struggle. We have what it seems like a fair board. From an empty board with 9 energy, should you be able to clear 2 troops and a shielded troop? That is the question. Does that feel like a fair, balanced game plan? Not that I'm complaining. I just, I think it's interesting the route at how like fast. It's crazy to me that you can have a completely empty board and sweep back, and then have board position after. It's not that just that like they can clear troops, but that a lot of the times they will have troops on the board afterwards. It's not like a Scythe Storm or DI, for example, where you can just clear troops and get rid of them. The fact that they have a remaining board afterwards is kind of nuts. Alright, what do I opt for here? Do I slam the, slam the St. Catherine? See what can happen with this into overtime. Drawing those 2 cards. Surely not this much thought goes into Space Wolves. Trigger some ferocity, slam some units on the board. Okay. Cool. So he burned a shield to smack that. Looks like he's going to take some melee damage here too. Well, maybe not. Just has the lightning bolt off the top. You can clearly see my frustration as I'm checking the amount of cards he has left in his deck. It's like, yes, you're drawing troops. I keep forgetting that. A little bit frustrated, but that is fine. Such is life. You either stop playing or you endure, and I think I'll just keep playing, even if it's mildly. I've not played nearly to the extent I did to last season. I grinded last season pretty hard. This season I'm not really feeling the vibe as much. Not because Sisters got patched or anything, just because like this new faction feels very overwhelming as a Sisters player. I should definitely scope into new aspects, and we're planning on doing that. Check out some AM, check out some Necrons, work into that jazz. In the process, I said season's still got 30 days to go, so we got time. Tide Wolf's coming out. Ah, yes. Was definitely sure he was going to hit this unit here. You can see me check the flying trigger. The cannot be targeted by melee attacks of non-flying units. You can definitely see me thinking he was going to hit this flying target, but it turns out he did not. I was really hoping to catch us on camera to see my immense disappointment in the coding of this game, but yeah. I don't think it says anywhere in Space Wolves lore that we just yeet dogs at angels, but you know, next time they planetfall your system, just be sure to throw dogs at them. Seems to be the meta these days. I drew pretty dead here with the Battle Sister Gunner. Definitely hoping for somewhat of a better draw. He has cycled a lot this game and has seen a lot more cards than me, I feel. However, I feel like a lot of his cards shuffle back into his deck, and that's why he still has so many cards in his library, so... Gonna take this off the table with the Seraphim. No lethal presented, but there's not a lot I can do to get out of the situation. I just can tack up just a little. That would be 9 on the troop and 1 on the warlord, so I'm currently sitting at 3 life. Has to find a way to pump out some damage here. That's a little bit. Ugh, excuse me, it is late. It's a little bit more. It doesn't target me though. Oh wait, it does target me. Rip. Yeah. Definitely done with this one. We'll move on to the next. But yeah. How are you guys enjoying it? Are you guys having fun? Is this something we all kind of aspire to? Are we looking to go out there and grind against or play Space Wolves till the end of eternity at this point? Or are you guys, during this small 6 to 5 day period, already sick of playing or playing as Space Wolves? I personally think it's alright. I'm glad for the change. I like the change in pace. I like seeing new cards and new mechanics enter games and things like that. I think that's always good. I just... I wish there was this faction added to the game. I just wish I didn't have like 70% of my games being against this faction. I understand they're new. It probably comes with the territory. Alright. He's gonna peg down this gunner sister. Okay. Ooh. Decides to go face. He says, screw that. Lightning bolt to the dome. Apply 2 damage here. See if I can't put some health on this. Maybe have this unit stick around a turn. That would be nice. I think that's one of the main struggle points as a sister player, is getting your units to stick on the board for long enough. Space Wolves has a lot of answers to everything you play. The turn these troops hit the board, they tend to resolve whatever threat they're dealing with. Out comes the hunt mark onto the Sacred Rose Sister. Okay. Nice. Second lightning bolt. Pretty good. Gunner Sister going to help me clear this troop right here. Out comes the Rhino, looking to get another sister on to the field. 2 faith. I've had worse situations. Alright. Exorcist, kind of a dead draw. We'll be glad to see that later in the game. We did happen to find it right now, though. Throw another Rhino, really going to grab the as much board state as we can, going as wide as we possibly can, looking for solutions. Man, last night I pulled what is, Miri called it classy. It was definitely not... I'm not much for like dark or light liquors per se. I really like my heavy darker liquors. I decided that I was going to have some screwdrivers, but instead of using vodka and orange juice, I used Everclear and Sunny D. Tell me if that's the most white trash thing you've ever heard in your life. Definitely a big fan of my whiskeys, but yeah. Alright, out comes the win condition, per se. This card is definitely a problem. That is a big boy. Sacred Rose Sister, pretty good draw here. That thing has a lot of attack. I was definitely terrified during this game that he was just going to say screw it and go face. I was really scared that he was gonna be like, you know what, screw all these troops, I'm just gonna hit them in a dome. And applied pressure that way. I was actually really scared because I was looking at my life total and I was like, man, he could put me to like 6. And if I go to like 6, because if he has like a buff or something like that, and I go to like 10 or 6, it's like, it's gonna be really hard to climb out of this game. So definitely a stressor as I was playing against this. Not glad he did not take the option to do so. This game was actually crazy. One of the better games I've played, extremely well developed. The progress of taking the journey on this one was really fun. Alright. Me up. Yeah, see, this thing is huge. Alright. Banks the shield off this. Ah, another lightning bolt. Good card. Alright, removes the shield here. Removes the troop now. Drawing the Battle Sister Gunner. And finally at 9 faith, we're gonna say, haha, you thought that my cards were balanced? I'll show you something that's unbalanced. We're gonna pin this troop down. It'll never see the light of day again. Yeah, that win condition, it's stuck. Congratulations with your dead card on the field. Man, just imagine if this was like pre-patch Erica, because this would have happened a turn earlier, and I would have had another troop. She really does have the crazy potential of having that control shell where you can just lock something down and not have to deal with it ever again. You do have to invest the 2 energy every turn. It is a small tempo loss, but for the most part, putting that troop on permalock and saying, nah, I don't want to play against that friend. That's good. You keep that card on that side of the field. Out comes the angry stepchild. He does not decide to activate the troop, wants the body on the field instead. I'm gonna pin this troop down again. Sorry, dog. Stay in your cage. Now is not the time we're playing outside. You gotta take some face damage here to remove this. I think that's normal. Your life is a resource. You should be considering it as such. A little bit of a misclick. I would definitely would have been upset if I would have resigned this game. Yeah, throwing out the Battle Sister Gunner. Your turn, pass. See if he has a solution to this. The Sister Repentia definitely kind of, I guess, my tech card I'm using against the Hunting Wolves and the Fenrisian Wolf. It does remove those units from the field and gains a faith in the process, so it's had its moments where it has shined for me. This game was kind of dead. I didn't really find a slot to play it. My turns were pretty parched for energy. I really had to manage my energy well. Ah, another lightning bolt. You can note my frustration as I check the amount of cards in his deck. That is like the 4th or 5th one we've seen this game. Yeah, so pinning this down yet again. Applying pressure with Battle Sister Gunner. Gonna throw out the Preacher. If this sticks, we can just start throwing Crusaders in play, and that will be a problem because he will have to get through those too. Finally found the energy to throw out the Sister Repentia. Gonna throw an extra health on that just because I can. Could have put that health on myself if I was really worried about getting burned out here. I think with the me locking down the wolf troop that I felt like I was in pretty much control of this game. I just knew I had to buy a couple more turns to find the energy to play both the Erica Talent and Exorcist in the same turn. This guy's pretty high ranked. Probably just shy of top 50. So he's definitely been using Space Wolves to his advantage. I myself will not be pushing pretty heavy for rank this season. Because I did not invest into the faction. And that's fine. I just think it will be an extremely uphill journey if I were to push for a high rank. And I'm spending my time editing and throwing videos out there instead of playing as much as I have. Last season I strived to go hard with one faction. This season I probably intend to play 2 or 3 factions and will probably not push it hard nearly as much. So, out comes Bjorn. Looking at that card like, what? Because I have to solve it. I have a feeling I had a play mistake here in the order of cards. I could have used Sister Repentia to attack last here and gain a faith off this. However, the amount of faith I have is not really the concern. So, I did lose a faith out there. You can scream misplay in the comments if you want. Definitely a sequencing error. We're going to throw out the Crusader. Came off the Preacher. Need that. I did not feel healthy taking the hit to the face to remove that to keep the Preacher alive. Even though having it would have been an extreme benefit, but that's okay. Alright. The first non-super impact troop we have seen this game. That is a big boy. And this wolf, that armor. I'll tell you what, if you can throw out a unit that has 2 armor, Space Wolf really has a problem dealing with it. 2 armor is a lot. Ah, Lightning Bolt. That card, pretty good, I've been told. Bloodclaw doing the Lord's work. Me glancing at the Rite of Restoration, knowing that's a super good play. Looking at my energy one more turn, I have to hold this out, and then I can pull out some crazy stuff. Down comes Astrid with her thick back end. Love the health on this card. When we played Magic, we referred to cards that were 0/3s and 0, like 5, whatever, X whatever, with a heavy emphasis on defense. We would refer to those cards as they had a big butt. So I will do the same for this card game as well. It just feels natural. So, alright. Got the dog locked down. Still looking to stall out some time. We got one more turn before we can slam this Exorcist. My real hope here is that he uses that armored troop and slams into one of my units and takes damage on it, because I'm looking to play Exorcist next turn to clear. So I hope he does that. We'll have to see what his decisions turn out to be. I woke up this morning around... the other 2 videos were recorded last night. This one was recorded this morning. So I woke up this morning around 9 o'clock after a night of drinking. And gotta say, man, this October rain is miserable for my my arm and my leg. I've broken my leg too. So anytime it rains super heavily and the weather's cold, it's definitely miserable. I can feel it. This troop with sniper, he's going to trigger that, throw that back in his deck. Use these wolves to clear out that. Activates that one for some reason, just to get it back in his list. I wonder if that was intentional or if he had a reason to do that. Alright. Weighing my options. Out comes the Exorcist. Nice big animation. I am the requiem to your wallet, she says as she comes into play. Gonna pin this down. I'm just gonna heal. Let this troop stick around for a turn. I could have traded phase here, but I was somewhat concerned about my life total. I did not really want to clear it entirely and then just sit there with like 9 health or whatever, and just be like, I don't know if this is going to be right. Felt like he might have had the range to find an out for that. Alright, decides a cantrip, draw 2 cards. Pretty good. In Magic, the common cost for drawing 2 cards is 3 mana, or 3 energy in this case, so same goes for Hearthstone. Drawing 2 cards for 2 energy is kind of insane in my opinion, but whatever. No, I'm not a game designer. Gonna throw out some Grey Hunters here, apply some Hunt Mark. He is going to deal some damage to this. I'm guessing if he's dealing damage, he has a way to clear. Out comes this Troop Sniper, so he drew that in his 2 cards that he drew. He got it again. Okay, definitely. You can see my frustration with the bad manner emote here. Playing against this every day. Out comes the Exorcist. We're gonna revive it. We have 8 faith, therefore the ETB trigger triggers again. Finally clear everything. Have an empty board. Put you down to a reasonable life total. Slamming out Sacred Rose Sister. Gonna throw up some shields. Pray for myself. As in, I hope this game is ending, because this has been a journey regardless. And my opponent, with somewhat low life, is going to look at the board and have the realization that he is not in a good spot. It has definitely been a journey. I hope you enjoyed this one. Just keep your head up. It is not impossible to win versus faction. You just have to play well and hope they do not draw as hot as possible. So, thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, will you fucking shut up? Nobody gives a shit! Am I right? I'm not wrong. This is fucking dog shit. Yeah, you keep no one cares. I can't.